morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies. Clear to Close Live is back. Man, we are excited. It is almost part three of the Hard Knocks Gym series. So we had Alex here, we had Arturo here, and now we have the true boss, the boss lady. Please introduce yourself to our friends on social media.
My name is Suzanne Ortega. I'm the owner of Hard Knocks Gym. My husband and I own the place. We've owned the gym for about 8 years now. We love it. We own Hard Knocks Gym. We also own Arizona Gladiator Promotions. And I'm a board member of the Hard Knocks Athletic Program, which is a nonprofit.
See? You said, I'm just the owner of Hard Knocks Gym. No, you have like 3 different things, right? And that's what drew us to you, right? The biggest one was Farrah, of course.
Yes.
Right, because he's in my family. And then learning the story of Hard Knocks Gym and the nonprofit side.
Yes.
But the story doesn't start there for Hard Knocks. The story starts way back. And when we had Arturo, he kind of dove into his past and we dove into his championship run. Mm-hmm. And then the turn to coaching, right? But your life didn't even start in the boxing realm. You came from my industry. You came from the mortgage world.
I did. Although it's just looking back at things, the way everything started and how everything just like ties together is amazing. I fell in love with boxing when I was about 13.
Okay.
My parents were always into boxing. My family would get together and watch all the big fights and whatnot. But there was someone by the name of Oscar De La Hoya who stole my heart.
Because he was pretty.
Yes, he was.
So at 13, you fell in love with the Golden Boy.
I did. And I really started just following him, just watching all of his fights, watching all the big fights. And it carried into my life. All through my 20s, my 30s, I loved boxing. And it's just so strange how everything kind of turned out to be the way it is.
So, obviously, you were in the mortgage industry.
Yes.
And then life changed. And you met Arturo.
I did.
So where did you guys see? I always ask this because people always lie to me. I always ask like the guy and then I'll ask the girl. And it's like 2 different places where they met.
Uh-huh.
Where did you guys actually meet?
We met online.
What? Get out of here.
Yes, we did. That's a funny story. We had met online through Christian Mingle. Whenever I met him, I had no idea what I was embarking on. No idea at all. I was just looking to date casually and whatnot, and I have never been on a dating site or anything like that. Matter of fact, he was one of the first people that I even spoke with. Wow. We just clicked. We clicked immediately. We started just talking. We were more friends for a while.
Was it like, oh, he's good looking or he's a boxer? Like which one was it? Because you have this love of boxing.
Yes.
You're getting him back
correct.
to dating, right? Like,
yes.
And you're like, was he like, did he put it on his profile? Was it like, boom, like coach boxing, and you were like, I'm in? Or was it like, oh, he's good looking, let me just talk to him and see what's up?
The funny thing is I didn't even know anything about his boxing until later. And he wasn't even the one who told me about his boxing, which was interesting. We went on a date, and he ended up taking me to Cave Creek. I'm a huge Steelers fan. If you know me, I am a huge, crazy Steelers fan. And he ended up surprising me, taking me to Cave Creek to Harold's.
Yeah.
We went down there. We had a few drinks, and then the server came up to us, and he just kept like staring at him, just kind of weird. And finally, I think it was when we were he was paying for the check, he gave him his credit card, and he looked at it, and he goes, I knew that was you. And he was like, you're Arturo Ortega. I used to watch you box. And he just went on and on about how he had went to his fights, and he followed his career. And I'm like,
and then the butterflies happened. Like, instant butterflies. You're like, I got my De La Hoya.
Well. It definitely helped. It helped. But, we had already like known each other for some time.
That's crazy that you would never have known, right? If you didn't go to that, someone recognized
Yeah.
you, right? So then now you know, right? And my assumption, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that now you're like, I want to know it all about boxing because you're a fan too.
Yes.
Like you're I want to know like what's the scoop, like.
Yeah.
And so you did, right? Now, were you like, man, this is different because it's not like the movie script of what you painted with De La Hoya? Was it completely different?
It was completely different. He did talk about it, but he always spoke with it as being in his past.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he had a nice run. He enjoyed it, but it wasn't who I knew him to be. So
Yeah. So then you start dating, and he's in the gym, and somehow in talking to you, you guys decide you're going to buy the gym.
kind of. So you know, he went to Hard Knocks frequently. He would, you know, meet up with his old coach. They'd go have lunch. They'd talk. And I specifically remember one of the times he went to the gym. He came back home and he was just like so upset. He was just so broken by it. And I'm like, what's wrong? What's going on? And he was like, Hard Knocks is just so run down. Like, it's run down. You could tell that no one's taking care of it. There's all these lights that are out. And he's like, I'm going to go buy some lights. I'm going to go buy the commercial fluorescent lights. And I'm just going to like start to kind of fix the place because it looks terrible and it hurts me. He's like, I'm just upset by it. So long story short, he did. But he just kept going back to it and kept going back to it. And eventually he did have lunch with his coach. And his coach was like, you know what, Arturo, I'm done. I've been, I've owned the gym since 1996. I'm tired. I'm just shutting the doors. So
because we know you guys took ownership and then you revived the gym. But there was a different role for you because now you're an owner, for one. Two, you're one of the only few females.
Yes.
One, gym owners, promotion owners, and nonprofit, right? Like it's like a three-headed, machine over at Hard Knocks. How is that? Give me the perspective from you, like as trying to kick the doors down, right? Like kick those barriers down as being a female gym, boxing gym owner in a promotion that's super male dominated.
Absolutely.
Super male dominated. So I want to hear you, because that's the perspective I want to get, because we're seeing so many other barriers in sports be broken down. We see it. But you're like one of the first in Arizona to do it.
Yeah, yes. There's not many female gym owners, very few. It is a very hard task. It is a male-dominated industry for sure. One thing that I can tell you is one thing that Arturo and I definitely believe in is mentorship. Just finding someone, meeting someone, knowing someone who has gone the path before you.
Yeah.
And along the way, I ended up meeting Mike Sanchez.
Okay.
He is the matchmaker for Iron Boy. And I met him in passing. He used to be the boxing president for USA Boxing, the amateur portion. And then he went into the pros, matchmaking. And when I met him, I just latched onto him. And I know he definitely didn't care for me at first. He was like, oh, who is this girl? And I wasn't going away. I was not going to go away. I just kept calling him. I kept asking him different questions. And I'm like, look, I'm not going anywhere. You might as well be my friend. You might as well help me because I'm not going anywhere. And I can really say that he has mentored me so much. And when I don't know something, when, something happens, I usually run to him and I'm like, Mike, help me out here. So that has definitely helped. But in my experience, in my past experience, I have always worked with business owners. I've always worked directly with the business owner. So I've always been the right-hand person. I learned to be able to run businesses. I assisted many business owners in running their business.
Yeah.
So I just learned a lot from it.
So, a few months ago, I got the pleasure of meet Layla Ali. And she talked about the fight game, and she talked more about these breaking these barriers. And I mentioned Hard Knocks to her, and she's like, "Get out of here." She's like, "That is super cool." She's like, the fact that there's a female that's not only doing the gym ownership business side, but the promotion side. She's like, she goes, "That's super cool." So we got to watch Ferris fight.
That's awesome.
We watched it on our laptop, and so she still has that passion for boxing. She has a huge
absolutely.
love for it. But again, you're one of the first in Arizona to kick down that door.
Yeah.
And it's, to me, right, sitting on the sidelines watching the fights, right, and then seeing you up on, in the ring, and you're the only one. Most of the time, it's like a mom running into the ring.
Yes.
Or a family member, right? And it's like, you're doing the walkout. You're like, yeah, I'm walking out with them. And people are looking like, who's that lady? And I'm like, if you only knew, like, she runs a show. But that's visually, right, what other young women can see in you, right?
Yeah.
And we've touched on other conversations off the air about your past, coming from your past, and being now the mentor to young females that come from any situation, whether it's a financial, violent background, whatever it is, not having support. Now you've become that role for those young ladies that are in the audience. How does that? Have you ever thought of that? Like, have you ever sat down and actually thought of that when a little girl's looking at you going, wow, I might want to do what she's doing?
Well, whenever we did take over Hard Knocks, everything just really began to make sense. I have a very colorful past. I was a single mom for a long time. I've had many, many, many struggles. And going through those things, some really hard things, during the time a lot of that stuff was happening, I just didn't understand why. And I'd pray to God, and I'm like, why is this happening? There's got to be more to life. But now owning the gym, I come across so many women, so many girls that have gone through the same things that I went through.
Yeah.
And to be able to talk to them and encourage them and mentor them, it means everything to me. It all makes sense. It's like, okay, this is why. This is why I did go through these things. I used my pain for purpose.
Yeah.
So.
And who would have ever thought, right? Which is one of the conversations we had was going through trauma, right? And then you're in an environment where it's based off of physical violence.
Yes.
Right? So it's a path with a purpose, I call it, right? Like,
yes.
You use your pain, to teach these people how to defend themselves. How to use that energy in a useful purpose, not just letting it just kind of beat you up and eat you up, right? I've seen it in the gym, and the few times I get to go, because I wish I could go to the gym more often. I swear to God, if you guys were on the west side, I would be there. I would have to go to therapy. I would have to go to therapy and give up tacos, but I would be there. But that's the truth. The truth is, I don't know how you manage that. And I think it's a great testament to your strength as a person, right? To be able to go through what you went through and then be in that gym and not only watch them work, but help them develop, and then mentor those that have suffered kind of like you have, right? Had those same struggles. And you go, man, that all that pain was worth it. Because now it's like you're giving someone the solution to the problem.
Yes, absolutely. People have this preconceived notion of what boxing is. They think of it as violence. They think of it as lots of blood and guts and gore. And really, we teach the sport of boxing. We teach camaraderie. We teach being a part of a team. We teach, getting along with people, using that energy that you have, that negative energy, and focus it and put it towards something productive. I honestly believe, as a troubled teen growing up, I think back at it now and I'm like, I wish my parents would have put me in a boxing gym and an environment like that. They would have never done that. They would have never went for that. But I just see the positive, that it actually does for kids. So.
Yeah, and that's where the nonprofit comes from.
Yes.
And man, when Farrah told me about the nonprofit, one, he didn't tell me he needed a sponsor. And we had talked about boxing for a while, and then he finally told me, and I was like, well, let's talk. And then you mentioned the nonprofit, and that's what really grabbed me and Jeanette, was the bringing kids off the street, teach them the sport, but not only that, give them the equipment that they may not have because they don't have the means.
Yes.
Right? Give them a purpose. Give them a reason to not run the streets. Go do those things that are so easily influential to them.
Correct.
Because boxing takes a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
Staying on this side of the tracks takes a lot of hard work.
Yes, it does.
And that nonprofit was what dug me in, and I was like, dude, we're in. And Jeanette's like, are you serious? I'm like, look, I remember going to the Rodriguez Boxing Club. Right there on Grand and 15th. And I remember walking in there and not having.
Yeah.
And I remember the coaches were like, yeah, just hit the bags a little bit. Here's some gloves. Here's some, So it really hit me personally as, going, man, I remember that feeling of someone just giving you an opportunity, right? And you never know. You might come across someone who becomes the next Arizona champion, the next world champion, the next something, right? And it's funny because I see you in the gym and it's like you've got like 40, 50 kids.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Like they're like your children. They're
Absolutely.
They're not like paying customers. They're your children because every single one you have like a set of rules for.
Yes. Oh yes, absolutely. We learned about the nonprofit through a trial. We took over Hard Knocks Gym. We had owned it for 2 or 3 years, and we started bringing in kids who were there in the Sunny Slope area. A lot of them came from the projects, just different circumstances where they couldn't afford to pay for the gym.
Yeah.
And so Arturo and I would talk about it, and we'd be like, well, what are we going to do? So-and-so, I talked to their parents, and they're going to have to pull them out because they just can't afford it. They can't afford to pay the fee. And we're like, well, we're just going to let him here for free. And we agreed on that. And then pretty soon here comes another one. And like you said, we would just get attached to these kids after getting to know them. And then pretty soon, that one couldn't afford, to continue coming. And then this one needed gloves, and then this one needed this, and this one needed that. And we're just handing out all this free stuff. And I would look at Arturo, and I'm like, we cannot do this. Like, we cannot be giving this stuff away for free. We're going to go bankrupt.
Yeah, we're going to go broke doing this.
Yeah, and we were early in the business ourselves, so we weren't exactly making profit. And now we're giving away all this stuff. And we ran into a gentleman. He was a coach and I'll never forget this, he was from New Mexico. And we saw him at one of the events, and he had this team of boxers that came into Arizona. They competed. There was probably 10, 12 of them, and they had their gear, and they, he brought all of them, and they were staying in this hotel, and we were like, how in the world is this guy doing this? And he was just very open with us. He talked to us, and he was like, we have a nonprofit. And he explained how to, what he did, how to run it. And he was like, these kids can't afford it. They can't afford to be traveling and whatnot. And so when he started telling us, I started really looking into it. And I'm like, wow, this is what we could do. So long story short, we've had the nonprofit for maybe 5 years now. And it has just become so successful in bringing in kids who can't afford to pay the memberships for the equipment. We've taken teams traveling, to go to different competitions, and it has just been such a blessing. Yeah. Such a blessing.
It is, and that's what caught my attention. And I've made some connections with you, so we can try to get that nonprofit just like really just going to a different level.
Yes.
And that's, that's part of our goal, right? Our goal when we launched our company was like, look, if we can just connect people to the source.
Yeah.
There's so many sources out there for funding, for programs, for nonprofits that do this type of work. But I wanted to tie so much into this nonprofit because there's so many stories that come out of your gym. There's so many, your story, Arturo's story, Farron's story, Alexis, everybody's story can be used in so many facets, from DV shelters to foster care to all these things that people have so much pent up frustration.
Yeah.
Because they feel like either it was their fault or they were, just shoved into the system role, right? In foster care or whatever it is. And I'm like, man, if we can just figure out ways to get them to go to the gym, bus them there, let them have that hour or two of clarity, frustration free, right? I'm like, man, maybe it changed their trajectory. Maybe it changes their path. So that's why I'm always like poking at you, like, go talk to this person and this person and go talk, because that's like, I know the people that mentored me, that kept me on the straight and narrow, and I'm forever grateful to those people. And there's a lot that I owe to them, because growing up where I grew up, I could have easily ran the streets. I could have easily done those things. But, you had to create change. You have to.
Yes.
You have to. And that's why we're tied to you guys forever. Sorry. Like, you may like it or not like it, but we're tied to you because of that. Because of that, your commitment to the community, right? That's our goal. Our goal is to stay committed to the community, do what we have to do to stay engaged, because it's not all about making money.
No, it's not. We would love to make a lot of money. And we are finally to the point where we're like, wow, this place is finally like drawing a profit. We're, we're doing well. But the beautiful thing is we've owned it, like I said, about 8 years now. And this thing has grown so much bigger than me and Arturo. I need a whole team. And I'm not kidding. We have so many great people around us like you that really just, they say, oh, we should do this or we should do that. And it has just helped us tremendously. So we just have great visions of Hard Knocks just becoming so much bigger. We want to open different locations. We absolutely want to expand the nonprofit. Currently, we just focus on boxing, of course, with the nonprofit, and football. We have gotten into sponsoring some different football teams, like Pop Warner teams. But we would like to expand it further in getting into different sports, any sports. As long as it's about getting the kid active, keeping them busy, we want to be able to fund all of that.
So if there's boxing fans out there and you need a gym, like
right here.
Yeah. I mean, and I say it because to me, it's such an emotional attachment. One, because I'm a huge fan of boxing. Two, I've grown attached to all of you guys at Hard Knocks. And it lays groundwork for such a bigger purpose.
Yes.
And there's so much that we can use this for. There's so much that we can use this for, this platform, right, that we have, right? As a lot of people say, the Latino movement has created a change, right? There's now, a lot of Hispanics that are triumphant in business, in nonprofits, and all these sectors.
I love
right?
it. I absolutely love it.
And we're the gatekeepers now. Generationally, we can go, look, you can make it out of the hood. You can make it out of that tough place. You can make it out of these situations that you feel right now are like overbearing.
Yes.
And that's like our continuing goal with our company is we want to keep proving that point that, don't go in for a year or two. Like, stay in it for a long run.
Yes.
It'll come. The success will come. It took you 8 years.
It took me a lot longer than that, but yes.
It took you 8 years just with the gym. Now your personal development, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be a forever work in progress, right? And this is something that Arturo and I touched on last week was, we tend to self-injure ourselves because we don't know how to handle the pain, the trauma, right? So once we learn that, we can pass that on.
Yes, absolutely.
And we can pass it on in different ways, right? I try to teach people how to be super financially savvy in the mortgage industry and other facets. And he's got boxing, he's got his personal training, he's got this, and then you have your background in finance and all this other stuff. Yeah. Like, I can only imagine in the next 5 years where Hard Knocks is going to be, and I'm excited.
So am I.
Super excited. But I'm more excited to see you continue to grow because you're still one of the only females in the boxing game.
Yes.
So, May 6th, Cinco de Mayo weekend.
Yes. Iron
Boys
Boy.
are back. They're both back.
Yes, they are.
I'm so excited. Like I seriously, I get into this mood when I hear the guys are gonna fight. Like, I think I go into training camp mode, except I don't train. I think mentally I'm charged up, but I'm just like, man, because they become like my kids.
Yes.
They become like my kids. We watched Alex fight a couple weeks ago. He looked great, but I stood up the whole fight because I was worried about him because he came from a loss.
Yes.
Right. So we were all wondering what he was gonna do, and me and him talked about it, and it was like watching my 15-year-old up there. I was super emotional. My wife's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "You don't understand. Like, it's like watching my son."
Absolutely.
And then I see Farrad up there, and I'm like, "Man, Cinco de Mayo weekend, bro. I hope you get someone."
Yes. Well, and I will tell you, we're working on the contract right now for Alexis. Alexis has been paired with someone. So I'm super duper excited about who he's been paired with. That's going to be a great fight. And Farrad, I'm still waiting. The hardest thing is to match Farrad. And I think it has a lot to do with his record. I know it has a lot to do with his record. Social media, I can say this wholeheartedly. I would put my children's lives on it. Farrad trains so hard. Yes. I do not know anyone else that trains harder than Farrad. He takes his boxing for real. It's his full-time profession, and people know it. Yeah. You just get a look at that guy, and you're like, I don't know that I want to fight him.
We laughed about this last week with Arturo, and I'm like, look, the last guy he was gonna fight didn't even get on the plane. like again, right? If I'm like an up and coming boxer, right, and I'm like, look, man, I got a couple wins under my belt, I'm good. And they're like, oh, you're gonna fight Farrad, right? And I look at his reel, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
And a lot of these guys have more experience than him.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
But there's a difference when someone eats, breathes, and sleeps boxing.
Yes.
Than someone that's got like a regular job and they box, trying to make it, right? That's different. And I think that he's got this right now. And a lot of people are scared of that.
Yeah.
And he's shown different skills that may frighten other Arizona fighters, other California fighters. And I'm like, well, if they want to test themselves to see how great they are, you got to fight guys like that. You have to fight guys like that. Like Farrad.
I agree.
You have to. Like, you can't be scared and then go on social media and talk all this smack. That you're this great thing when you're not. Like, I'm like, and I've said this since we first started going to the fights, watching Farrad and Alex. I'm like, why do these guys keep going round robin with each other and not fight Farrad? And I don't know if it's a matchmaking thing. I don't know if it's an Iron Boy thing. I don't know what it is. And at this point, I'm just like, look, I'm just hoping he gets a fight.
Yes.
Man, if I have to go on a diet and fight Farrad, I might last like 15 seconds. And it's going to be 15 seconds of me running till I run out of breath, and then I'm just going to lay down. But I do hope he fights on is it May 6th, right?
May 6th, yes.
So May 6th, Iron Boy. Hopefully they're there.
Yes, everybody show up.
Yes, everybody show up because there's going to give you a reason to, like, it's a fight. Go fight. Go watch it.
Yeah. You won't be disappointed.
You won't be. But the time has come. The official time has come for you to be our guest judge for our tacos. So you get to eat today.
Yes.
So today's tacos, they're from Taqueria Obregon. They're on 3401 East McDowell.
Ooh.
I don't know what they sent me.
Okay.
So we're just going to crack them open and see what kind of they gave you. Go ahead and open those up so we can get some shots on those.
See.
This looks like shrimp, I believe.
Ooh. Yeah.
Let's see. There's some pastor. That's tripas.
Oh, okay.
I know what that is.
Oh, it smells good.
And then I'll jump over here. Open
Here's
this.
some.
Oh, look, they gave us cilantro and cebolla, which is nice. They put salsa already
Perfect.
on the tacos. So let's see here. Oh, this is fish. All right, we got a pretty good assortment here. That's carne asada. That's simple. And I don't know. Let's open this right up. Oh, this is pastor, I think.
Yeah, I thought that one was pasta.
No, this has got to be birria. Oh, that's birria.
Oh, okay.
And then, so I did
Is that carnitas?
ask him for one that was really interesting that I haven't really seen before anywhere, which is that one. It's tripas and carne asada.
Oh,
So
okay.
very interesting. And I was like, man, I gotta order it because I don't even know what's. I've never had that. I usually have them separate. But I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? I'll order them. I'll try them. So you get to pick your taco, put your dressing on there, put your cilantro on there. Yeah. So guys, girls, if you're looking for a gym to go train out of, hit up Hard Knocks. You know, if you're looking to purchase, refinance, invest, give us a call at Clear to Close.
Clear to close.
Yeah, if you want to be a guest, if you have a small business and you want to be a guest on our show, hit us up on our social media. Clear to Close Mortgage Official. You can hit me up on my personal Facebook, Mario Nevarez. Yeah, hit me up. You want to be a guest, you got a small business, you got a nonprofit that we just need to give a little boost to, give them a shout out. Please, please, please reach out. Give that thing a whirl. Give that thing a bite.
All right.
Yeah, you can push that thing out of the way. Yeah, make yourself come. Wait, do you want Coke or Fanta? They gave us both.
Nah, I'll stick with my water.
Okay. See, she's training. Not me. Sorry.
I'm not a soda drinker.
Oh,
So.
this body's built by tacos. So, like, if anybody knows me, like, I will go out of my way to eat a taco more than anything. So, and it's funny because we have Arturo in the studio, and he's staring over here, looking at the tacos like a rabid pit bull, like ready to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna let him suffer a little more. How is it?
It's not bad.
Not
It's
bad.
not bad.
Which one was that one? The pastor?
Pastor.
Okay, now you got to grab a different one and give that one a bite too, because we need you to be a judge of more than one. So this one is fish, and I think that's shrimp, or that's shrimp and this is fish. I don't know. We'll have our non-meat eaters tell us here in a little bit what they are. Here, grab it.
See, and
There you go. You just pull that thing over
the
there.
thing
Don't be
is
scared.
Arturo only came for the tacos.
Oh, I know.
It was like
Oh, I know.
he
So-
knew I was coming, and he was like, "Well, I'm going." And
Well,
I'm
he
like,
told
"You
me-
already had your tacos."
He told me he wants to be here every week just to be a guest, just so he can have
Taste
tacos. And I was,
tester?
yeah, we're a sacrificial lamb.
Yes,
So-
yes,
So-
that sounds like him.
Yeah, so give that thing a bite, and then it's funny if we could turn the camera. He's pacing. He's literally pacing back
he
and forth.
is.
It's freaking hilarious. Look at him. Look at that guy pacing over there. Pacing, waiting for his tacos. Look at him. Yeah, we got you on camera. We got you on camera. He's pacing. Like this is like a championship fight. This is like the stare down. Like he's staring down the tacos. He's not really staring at us. So yes.
And this one's better.
Okay. So
Yeah, this one's
so
good.
would you take Arturo or the guys from the gym to this place?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know what? We are always looking for taco places after weigh-ins.
Yes.
Oh, Alexis, like when he's cutting weight, he plans out where we're gonna go for weeks.
Oh yeah.
He's like, I've got a plan. We're going to this place. This is what I'm getting. Like the four of us, we let him lead
Nice.
because he plans it all out. So I definitely have to tell him about this place.
Yes.
If he hasn't already been there.
So if you're taco places, we need you for the weigh-ins. We
Mm-hmm.
need you for the after weigh-ins. Shoot us a message. We're gonna have all of Suzanne's information on our webpage, on everything else. So you can reach out to her if you guys want to go work out, or just give her information on taco places.
Yes, please. Sponsorships.
Sponsorships, yes. We're looking at sponsorships for the fighters, for the gym. I can't thank you enough for coming on the show.
Well, thank you.
It's so much fun. I know I needed to break you out of your shell. We talked about this for almost a year, about bringing you on the show, and you were like, you weren't ready. You didn't want to do it. And it's easy. It's simple.
It's
just
bad.
simple.
It's not bad. I'm not a camera person.
Well, you're going to be. You're the face of Hard Knocks. You have to be. Sorry. So, guys, girls, friends, tune in next week. New tacos, new place. Don't forget Cinco de Mayo weekend. Iron Boy, what is this? 65. 65. So hopefully Fair gets a fight. Alex is on the card already. So until then, we're going to eat tacos. We're going to let the rabid Wolverine in here so he can eat. And then we'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.